All right, welcome back to Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 32. Today on the show, the abortion rats are still out in full force, and they're coming for the most innocent. The Pennsylvania Senate race is heating up. We're going to tell you why Dr. Oz is not our guy. Lori Lightfoot's trying to start an LGBTQ insurrection. And make sure you stay till the end for a double dose of uplifting gold so we don't blast ourselves. All this and more is Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 32, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do.
Very cool. Fleccas Talks, the podcast, featuring Richard Rapper. That was truly a one and done.
Yeah, it happens every time.
Every single time I get the intro done in one take. All right, episode 32. What is that, Shaq?
Yeah, Shaq, when he left the Lakers.
What do you do to leave? Why do you leave the Lakers?
Just to heat it up.
Just to heat it up. I'm a big Shaq fan. I used to have a Shaq and Anthony Hardaway jersey.
Nice. On the old Orlando Magic.
Orlando Magic, yeah. I love old Shaq. All right, we have a pretty good housekeeping. It's probably my favorite housekeeping we've ever done. First things first, I took Jerry a couple days ago to get some blood work done at the local pet hospital or whatever. And I had to drop him off at like 7:45 in the morning. And then they called me to pick him up at noon. So basically my whole day was revolving around this.
Multiple errands, waking up earlier than you thought.
Didn't have enough time to get anything done in between. So then I went there to pick him up. And I'm like, oh, how'd it go? And they're like, oh, it went really well. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the blood work done. And I was like, oh, what happened? And they were like, well, he got really nervous. Jerry was really nervous and he wouldn't let us touch him. No, not in an aggressive way. He wasn't being aggressive. Every time they came near him, he would just like shy away and just like try to get away from him. And then he was like peeing. So I don't know what happened. I dropped the dog off to get blood work done. But then they said he was too nervous.
They're incapable. They have no tools. They've never dealt with this before.
You can't just pass him out.
Yeah.
You can't just we're gonna hold him and like.
I was thinking more one of those little harnesses that like lifts him up, and then it's like, all right, we got your arm, buddy.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened. Like in the 90s, I feel like your dog, you drop him off and you pick him up and they got it done. And maybe it got a little ugly in there, but they got it done.
Exactly.
I don't know what happened or what they're doing now. I guess these millennial vets are like taking into account Jerry's feelings.
Wow.
So we dropped Jerry off and Jerry didn't want blood work done. He didn't want them to take blood from him.
So what did they say? Come back?
So they said, here's some things that kind of knock him out, like make him tired or whatever. Give him some of ththose the day before and the day of, and we'll try again next week.
Wow.
So,
no solutions. No critical thinking.
We're just going to try again next week. You're going to ruin another one of my days. Yeah, we couldn't get any of the work done. Jerry was too nervous. The dog was nervous. And that's why we stopped. So, yeah, I don't know what to do. Very, very not good.
Chaos. Yeah.
Chaos. So, yeah, good job, St. Pete Pet Hospital or whatever. Moving on. We have bounty sections we've been doing the last few weeks. We have a great bounty section. The first one is the surprise cameo from Richard Ratboy. So I guess you got a cameo for the show?
Yeah, I bought a cameo. You know, the great Kali?
The gigantic guy?
Yeah, he's like 7 feet tall. He was a wrestler. And
yep, I know.
He was in the longest yard.
He's a meme guy. He's a real meme, that guy.
Yeah. So here you go. First time hearing it.
Hi guys, what's up? This is the great Kali. I know you watching podcast Fleccas, and thanks for watching all the time. Talking Fleccas in the broadcast.
So I think he watches the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, that was very nice. That was very nice of him and very nice of you to get that for the show. It's greatly appreciated.
$54.99 for that.
That was great.
Hi guys, what's up?
Watching podcast Fleccas. He hit all the points.
Yeah, he hit all the keywords in the cameo. So shout out to you, great Kali.
Yeah, thank you, great Kali. That was fantastic. Glad to see that you like the show. Now let's get into some of the bounties this week. These are the ones that were more organic.
Yeah.
We had a friend of the show send us a picture. His wife was giving birth, and he was watching the podcast during that. That's always good.
Love to see it.
That's points. That
He's
counts.
double gripping the thing, like probably going through contractions.
That's us talking about like trans people or whatever.
He's setting up the phone to take a picture of him on the iPad.
Okay,
that.
so that's a winner. And then this is another good one, another plain one.
This is the best one of the week. Little cockpit shot.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be landing in just a few moments with a flight attendant's prayer for landing, and just a reminder to go to YouTube and subscribe to Fleccas Talks podcast. And have a great day. And thank you for choosing America.
Oh man!
So that guy's a legend. Thank you for sending that in.
Yes, that was really good. That guy is a winner. Both these people were rewarded. Bounties paid. And then Khalid, we gave him cash.
Yeah, he already got paid.
He already got paid. We're not sending him anything. We don't even carry his size, probably. Moving on, we're still in housekeeping. This is the best housekeeping we've ever done. Guy and gun waistband trick. Guy with gun waistband trick.
Yeah, this is...
We talked on the show about, remember, like my trick for you ever getting robbed and you have a gun, say, hey, I have a gun. Or if you're ever getting robbed and you don't have a gun, say, hey, I have a gun in my pocket. Come take it away. And then they come to grab it and then you grab them. This is kind of similar to that. This is if you're getting robbed and you have a gun and they in your waistband and they say, let me see under your shirt. This is how you handle it.
Numa situação então de assalto, né? Eu sou assaltante. Assalto. Perdeu. Levanta a camisa.
Lift up your shirt.
Tá desarmado.
Nothing's there. Bang. Call an ambulance for you.
but not for me. Levanta camisa. Means lift up your shirt.
Lift up your shirt.
Well, when you hear someone speaking Spanish or Portuguese, I don't know which one that was because they're so similar, but you know that guy might use that. Brazil, all the videos out of Brazil. That's like he's probably going to use that in the next 5 years.
Yeah, and it's interesting because while this is a tip, it's probably not a tip for Americans because we're not really carrying like loosely in our waistbands.
Yeah.
And if we're getting robbed, not enough people carry where they're like, let me see under your shirt because, not everyone has a gun like that.
Yeah.
So if you do, though, if you're involved in some sketchy stuff, if you're some sort of warlord or trap guy, this is a nice little tip for you.
Yeah, if you're going into the warlords thing and they pat you down and you just John Wick people.
Exactly.
Good
so
luck.
it depends what you're up to. There's Fleccas listeners obviously everywhere.
Yeah.
So maybe people can use that trick and send it in. Moving on, we're still in housekeeping. It's a very important housekeeping. Housekeeping obviously is a place we're going to also entertain our schizo spiral stuff. So whenever we do schizo spirals and have kind of conspiracy theories, there's not really a place for it within the show. We are going to cover it here. So Richard Rappoy, please read that CERN schizo spiral post.
Okay, this is a 4chan post. It says, CERN has run its course. If you felt weird and nothing but a demonic spirit around you the last 2 days with strange dreams, it will quickly become clear why. We've been through countless nuclear holocausts in the last few time loops. LHC has been activated once again. A message was sent back to the past outlining each mistake that was made, from sabotage to worse events. Sadly, CERN's time loop has run out.
That's not good.
As we expended every timeline where the Russians cuck in World War III is avoided. You can thank CERN for 4 months of peace where there was going to be war, but as of May 7th, CERN has yeed its last haw. You have been warned. We are now on the only possible timeline. Whether now or in 2 years' time, nuclear war is assured. If you haven't started prepping, you're committing suicide. Take care, Anons.
So it sounds like the people from the future who were helping and going back in time to help us, they ran out of time loops, so they're no longer able to help. Guys, you need to prepare. Listen to what Richard Rappoy said. Listen to Richard Rappoy's original ideas and things he's sharing on the show. You need to prepare for this Holocaust because the time travelers in the future aren't really coming to help us anymore.
Yeah,
so
the
listen to
portal
what
is
Richard
closed.
Rappoy said.
Yeah, what I said and wrote.
What you originally created and said on the show.
Yeah, and then it's like time travelers, their immediate outlet is 4chan. It's like, that's where we go first. So, yeah.
All right, moving on.
Take it with maybe a grain of salt.
A little bit of salt. There's a doppelganger update section. Last week we had a bunch of doppelgangers. And then obviously that triggered the floodgates and people started sending us way more, actually better ones. Worse, depends how you look at it. But there's a lot of Fleccas doppelgangers out there. Take a look at these.
This guy in the middle, Paul Wolf, radio announcer, that's, I think, the closest we're going to get to you.
Yeah, that's basically it.
With the glasses, too. Nike, there's a Nike guy running. You're getting fitness ad deals. And then we just got this one at midnight, right before we started filming, Fleccas doing a Fitbit commercial.
Yeah. So they're trying to encourage the Fleccas types to get to working out, or they're trying to pretend there's a world where these Fleccas types are all working out.
Yeah.
It's big ugly season. And it used to be kind of like, dad bods were cool. I think now Shrek bods are in because times have gotten worse. And the people who are going to take what they want in this power vacuum are the ugly people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, think about Shrek. Why did Fiona like Shrek? Obviously, she was a Shrek too. But Fiona liked Shrek because he was kind of ugly and just did what he wanted and just took what he wanted. He was a real man about it. And when you're ugly...
Yeah, he saved her.
Yeah, when you're ugly, you kind of just take what you want because you don't have to care about like, oh, is this girl going to like me? Or like, oh, you're just a big, fat and you go take what you want. And because you're ugly, you have less people to kind of like answer to and be held accountable by. And I think because of that, it's Shrek bod season. The Shrek boys are going to be taking what they want. The grizzly types are going to be taking what they want. And then I think that's what's going to attract the girls.
Fair. I think it's a thing where they were looking at the data and they go, we sell out a large and XL every day, but our double XL section isn't that great. We need these fat fucks to start running, jogging, and wearing our merch. And so they're looking for a 200, 300% increase in double XL and up.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's an interesting take. And it sounds about right. It makes sense. There's a guy who got sent to me a bunch of times. This is a rollerblader guy who's very good at rollerblading. Here's a couple different clips of him. Guys, it looks like me, but this is not me. So I hate to burst your bubble. It's not me. Stop sending it to me. I've seen it. Richard Rappel, you have some doppelgangers too.
Yeah.
You got a little compilation, a little montage of your people.
Let me just toss this one up real quick. There's the doppelgangers. Nothing but Gosling, baby.
I was going to say, doesn't fully look right.
Gosling.
I guess that's what happens when you're the asset guy.
Yeah, when you're the one doing the photoshops, you get to control the stream of information.
Yeah.
No, but
I'm getting smoked on these.
But here's my real doppelganger section. You can see some rap boy types. Yeah, this is more my crew, not Gosling. Except I threw Gosling in there too. So,
which is you're right, your prerogative. Is that it for the doppelgangers?
Yeah, well, actually, I want to say my doppelgangers are like 3 of them are like followers and listeners of the show. So I'm finding mine more amongst regular people.
More grassroots.
Exactly. And yours is kind of like the
corporate advertising.
Exactly.
All right, well, that's how it is. I mean, we're hopefully never going to do another doppelganger section again unless someone sends us some really compelling stuff. But
yeah, it has to be good now.
It has to be better than Paul Wolf. And if we're not going to do it, this might be the last doppelganger section. The last thing of housekeeping before we move on to Cringe of the Week. Guys, we just qualified and became eligible for Super Thanks on YouTube. I don't fully know how that works, but I think it's a thing where you can kind of send a super chat or basically like a comment that has like a dollar amount with it. So you can kind of write something and then maybe give Fleccas $2. If everyone did that, we'd have $140,000 after this episode, which is wildly inappropriate.
That'd be sick, though.
But that would be kind of cool, right? And we would take care of Fleccas, and then we might be set for life. So if you're, if you're tempted to give $2, now is the time to do it. Please figure out how to do it on YouTube. We now are eligible for the Super Thanks button, so please leave us a $2 Super Thanks, and we'll make $140K in a day.
Boom.
That sounds like a plan. Moving on. Cringe of the Week. We have a fantastic Cringe of the Week section. Our first clip is a kindergarten teacher who is doing her best to teach kids about white privilege over Zoom. I wonder how that's going to go.
Entirely remotely, which means all of the parents got to hear all of my teaching, which is very exciting. The other part is that I was teaching remote kindergarten, which is hilarious, by the way. Everyone should try it. And so I did a lesson on white privilege, essentially.
I bet you did.
I talked about how some people are treated differently based on what they look like, and all the parents heard it. And I received some emails that were like, wow, that was a really powerful lesson. Thank you for starting that conversation. And then I received some emails that were like, how dare you treat my white child differently?
Yeah. Pause for a sec. Imagine your kid, 5-year-old kindergartner, on Zoom, in a Zoom class, getting told about white privilege. It's like, don't we need to kind of like distract them more, like shapes and colors? Like, how are you even getting the kid engaged? But now is the time to bring up some deep topics, I guess, in this kindergarten Zoom class.
Yeah, kindergarten is glorified babysitting. These kids are 5. and you're going to start lecturing them over Zoom. Like, shouldn't they be watching Baby Shark or like stupid stuff that kind of just loops over and over and they go, yeah. But no, white privilege from this girl who literally, her pronouns are in her Zoom call that says they, them.
Yeah, this they, them.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's your prerogative?
Yeah.
I wonder.
And then she goes on to say how they need more resources to be able to have these conversations.
She goes on to say, like, and we need protection from our administrators. What? So you can just do whatever you want, they, them?
You're about to get fired.
Yeah, you should be fired because that's inappropriate. And you did this thing where nobody ever discussed anything, this kind of pseudoscience, weird psychology that just came out of nowhere, bubbled out of like Seattle and San Francisco and weird academic institutions. And all of a sudden it's dogma. Like,
This is what the kindergartners are up to. They're not even waiting.
and dude, nobody agreed to this. Nobody agreed.
Yeah.
We never reached consensus. Like math, it's like everybody looks over and they're like, all right, 5 times 5? Yeah, it's 25. Nobody ever approved white privilege. So welcome to the great experiment, folks.
Let's see what else they're doing in the schools. There was a quiz on a test in a middle school about, I guess, Democrats versus Republicans. What's the question?
Yeah, the question says, Teresa has heard in the news about the fatal shootings of unarmed African-American men by police officers, but does not think it is necessarily due to racism. Teresa is most likely a
Based.
Democrat. Yeah.
Teresa is based. It has good parents.
Teresa knows that crime statistics show.
Yeah, and you're better off like supporting the police than being against them because most of the time they're doing things that you need.
Yeah, but anyway, it said Democrat, black woman, Republican, Democrat-leaning woman, and the answer is a Republican. So
they're completely just obviously controlling the narrative,
reinforcing their biases, I guess. I don't.
Usually you'd wait till like this is the kind of stuff that college kids learned. That was the problem. They got woke and they're like, oh, it's all this racism. I learned this in college. You go away from home, you come back kind of like a lefty. Now it's just middle school.
Yeah.
Common knowledge.
We gained some ground. Why don't we take it all?
And then if you're taking the test and you want to get a good grade, even if you don't agree, you still have to answer Republican. She's likely a Republican.
Exactly. So it's like you're lashing yourself. You're like white privilege, Republican.
Exactly. And then there's obviously some hope at the light at the end of the tunnel. The Dallas-Fort Worth School Board, last week, I believe,
held
elections and 100% Republican.
Conservatives swept it. So.
All the way across.
Some places in Texas are still Texas. And, you know, that's a great sign. And I hope more parents are getting involved because it's just obviously a good thing if you have control. Because otherwise you leave this power vacuum and then the they, them who wants to teach about white privilege just goes, I'll do it.
And that's one person teaching like 30 kids, multiple classes, probably more, 100 kids. And then that is one person can spoil the whole bunch.
Exactly.
Or at least a bunch of the bunch.
Or at least confuse the bunch.
So what are we to do? Every week we have a cringe of the week and we just continue to see the teachers coming for our children, and there seems to be no hope. What if I told you there was? We have a new sponsor here on the show, and it's Brave Books. Our friends at Brave Books have created a children's book series that is based in the values that we share as America-loving patriots. A lot of the things we're seeing these days don't have our children's best interest. They're trying to teach kids about racism, trying to take the kids' gender and make it confusing. And there's a very few resources that we have, especially as parents or people that are involved in children's lives, where we can kind of get some points back and make sure we're safe with what we're providing our kids. And that's what the people at Brave Books did. Remember that book, Goodnight Sleepy Joe, that we advertised last year?
I do.
The people who created that scaled it and now have Brave Books. So the book did really well when we advertised. They sold thousands of copies. People were really looking for it. And then the creator was a doctor. He actually had a child in the meantime. And then right at that time is when Cuties came out. People were giving him gifts like the anti-racist baby book, stuff like that. And he said, this is a problem. I'm creating my own book company, and we're going to share stories that share American values and America's best interests. So they sponsored the show. They're a fantastic company. We recommend you guys go to bravebooks.us. Get the treasure chest is the best thing I saw on the site. That's what this is right here. You order the treasure chest. It comes with a bunch of cool swag. This is a puzzle. You get a whole stack of books. Other cool stuff too. A backpack, a beanie, a child's beanie, and all these books. If you guys have kids or have kids in your lives, this is what you need to give them. We don't have many resources on the right. We don't have many things that are geared to our people, but there's also a subscription service. So if you sign up for the subscription service, you'll get a new book every month with people that you know. Robbie Starbuck wrote the most recent one. Here's one right here. Elephants Are Not Birds. Kind of guess what that means. They're teaching lessons that the kids actually need to learn. It's a patriotic company. They support the show. They're sponsoring us for a bunch of episodes. Let's support them right back. Get some of these books today. Get the treasure chest. That kind of comes with everything and comes with all the books they have so far and a bunch of other stuff as well. Or get on the subscription service, bravebooks.us. Use code Fleccas for 20% off.
Oh, that's steep.
That's a big chunk off. That ain't nothing now.
Yeah.
bravebooks.us. Support the sponsors that are supporting us. These are great people. This is America First company, and we need now more than ever to get our kids back on track. And you're not going to be able to do that by sending them to public school or letting them consume whatever's out there for them. We need to deliberately choose what we're showing our children and what we're giving our children as reading material and as gifts and as toys. And that's exactly what Brave Books does. bravebooks.us. Use code Fleccas for 20% off. A massive chunk off. It goes a long way. They're sponsoring Cringe of the Week, and we are going to make sure that it's worth it for them. bravebooks.us. We love you. Thank you for supporting. Guys, go pick up some copies today. Give it to your kid. Give it to your niece. Give it to the kid across the street. The books are great. They're really beautifully illustrated, and the lessons they learn, they will keep for life. Thank you for supporting the show, Brave Books. Thank you guys for supporting Brave Books. Now you have to.
Yep.
bravebooks.us. Use code Fleccas. Moving on, we're still in Cringe of the Week. We are into the Lori Lightfoot LGBTQP insurrection that she's trying to start.
Yeah. She's starting something.
So what's the tweet that she said?
She said, "To my friends in the LGBTQ plus community, the Supreme Court is coming for all of us next. This moment has to be a call to arms." And then she replies to her own tweet, "We will not surrender our rights without a fight to victory."
And obviously LGBTQ plus, the plus is a soft P, which we say all the time, which is the eventual P, which is, you know what, that's what they're going for. And then also I thought that these were insurrection terms. I thought when Trump said you have the right to peacefully protest and have your voice heard, that was an insurrection. But when someone says it's time to
call to arms,
a call to arms,
we will not surrender,
call to arms, it's time to fight. That sounds like insurrection words to me. And I thought Chicago was already doing that. There's already 209 homicides this year, 1,000 people shot. The call to arms has already happened.
There's a lot of fighting. It's just in your streets.
I just don't think it's the LGBT. It's not the trans people shooting people.
Yeah, the arms are all over your streets, and they're illegal arms.
Exactly. So everything, the call to arms has already happened, Lori. So yeah, obviously hypocrisy. They do that. They don't get in trouble because the laws are selectively applied.
Yep.
The attention to certain things is selectively applied. Lori Lightfoot's on the good boy team, and as Beetlejuice, she's allowed to do whatever she wants.
Yep.
Moving on to our next piece. This was in a middle school, I believe.
Elementary, actually.
Elementary. Even worse.
So, you want me to read it?
Let's go ahead and give it a read.
So it's just a big thing on a cork board here. It says LGBTTTIQQAAPP inclusiveness training. So
one of those P's is bad.
Yeah.
One of those P's is what we were talking about.
Also, like, shouldn't you reduce this? Don't you need just one letter and it can be for both? Like, isn't that the binary?
Isn't there like a math way to go about this where it's like 3 A's and 2 P's? It's like P squared, A to the third, or
let's
whatever.
Simplify the fraction.
Yeah, we have to use some simplification here.
But so it's hilarious because this is like an insane acronym for elementary school teachers of Ontario. So I think it's in Ontario, Canada. And there's a little blurb on the bottom of this, and it says, "Our goal is to become more familiar with current language, sensitive to current issues, and to share best practices in supporting our LGBT peers and students." Yeah. So this is just the training ground before you end up on Libs of TikTok.
Yeah.
Before someone gets you on camera and then you're on Libs of TikTok. So this is where you learn.
Yeah, this is where you learn how to get on Libs of TikTok. Absolutely. You kind of, if I was a consultant and went to that school, I would say, "Oh, wow. Who wrote this acronym up?"
Yeah.
"Oh, it was you? Pack up your shit and get out.
Leave.
You're fired." No one else agreed with that. No one else is on the wave of the acronym that's 12 letters long.
Yeah. You get
You're
them
done.
You get them all in a room. So who agrees with this? They show of hands. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
Right.
Everybody who raised their hands, stay. Everybody who didn't, you're free to go. And everyone else is fucking fired.
Oh, it's bad.
Elementary school students, guys.
So they're coming for the kids, obviously, and they're coming for the kids at every level, which takes us to our abortion section. They're coming for the kids even before they get to teach them. So if they're not able to snuff them in the womb, they'll snuff them in pre-K and elementary with all this weird trans stuff. So the abortion people are still out and about, and they're still upset.
You'll hate yourself so much by 3rd grade. There's no chance you're reproducing.
Yeah, you'll abort yourself.
Yeah, literally.
13-year-old abortion, which is what they're going for, unfortunately.
Insert suicide statistics of like kids and teenagers now.
100%. So there was a pro-life office in Wisconsin that was firebombed a few days ago. Don't worry, it wasn't terrorism.
Yeah, it was just the voiceless getting their voice out.
Exactly.
The unheard.
And that is the language of people who are oppressed. They're not terrorists. The terrorist watch list, I guess, will be reserved for the parents who want to not have CRT and LGBT stuff taught in schools. They're on the FBI's looking into them.
Yeah.
These people, no, not so much. Antifa, no, not terrorists either. So it's interesting because they used to be subtle before. Obviously, everyone was so engaged in politics, even before, like pretty much before Donald Trump. They were more subtle, and they were able to say things, and you'd think they had your best interest, and it was two sides trying their best, and they don't fully agree. And even in recent years, if you don't wear a mask, you're selfish. But now, if you're not violently pro-abortion, you're a bigoted, hateful person. In reality, getting an abortion is getting rid of a child because you're too selfish to take care of it. It's not economically feasible, or it's not convenient. So it's basically birth control, and you're getting rid of the kid. But being selfish is not wearing a mask or not getting vaccinated. Getting rid of your baby that you don't want to have because you had unprotected sex and were irresponsible. That's not selfish. That's celebrated now. Yeah. So that's an interesting way how, things have changed over the years. If you told someone that 10 years ago, I think they would think you're crazy.
What did they say? Rare, shameful, and whatever. Like abortions are rare.
Yeah, rare, safe, and legal, or whatever it used to be.
Whatever.
And now it's like we have parades about them, and it's a brave, noble thing to do.
Can I bring this up about the Wisconsin firebombing really quick?
Of course.
This was a great point made by Cernovich, basically calling out this blue check mark on Twitter. So she quote tweeted the New York Times article about the Madison, Wisconsin anti-abortion group being set on fire. And she quote tweets and says, "More of this. May these people never know a moment of peace or safety until they rot in the ground." More of this. May these people never know peace or safety? You're talking about terrorism. And then so Cernovich quote tweeted it. He said, "It doesn't even occur to this journalist that she would be banned for directly inciting terrorism. Zero to fear, as this view is more likely shared by a preponderance of Twitter employees. But the Babylon Bee has to wonder if a joke will be what finally gets them banned."
Yeah.
And it's like, she's literally encouraging terrorism, firebombing the abortion clinics.
Yeah.
Or the anti-abortion clinics.
And a scary thing we've seen from this, we saw a bunch of these in the Sav Hernandez clips. These people are so pro-choice and pro-abortion that they hate themselves. Well, the people are even saying, like, I wish my mom aborted me. I wish my mom had the ability to abort me.
Life sucks. Yeah.
Like, life sucks. They just hate their life so much. And it's not that they do hate their life so much, but bigger picture, they don't believe in God, or they hate God so much because they think that we evolved from like a fish that came out of the water or whatever. And all this world is just chance, and we lucked out, and nothing means anything. They're just so removed from God that you're able to like have this stance and not be ashamed of being unborn child, the most innocent thing in the world, because God doesn't exist. Meanwhile, it's like 75 degrees today and sunny. And if you go on Saturn for 2 minutes, you turn into a salsa.
Yep.
And you go on this earth and you can pull a strawberry off a bush, and it's like the best thing ever. Yeah. But God's not real for these people.
Well, they're just miserable too. It's just absolute misery, and they want to share that misery with everyone. They want everyone angry and mad and hating kids, and I don't know, going to weird sex parties and like a rave or something. I don't know.
Doing
whatever.
Who knows what.
Might be fulfilling for you, but you sound pretty miserable.
You sound miserable, and the things you're calling for are so terrible, killing the unborn. But instead of being ashamed and being called out for it, you're actually being promoted and celebrated because everything in the media industrial complex has your back.
Yeah.
Check out this quote we found. Was it Reddit or 4chan?
4chan.
About propaganda and how propaganda works. Because people are looking now and probably seeing all the stuff in the news and they're like, hey, this is crazy. These are just blatant lies. How are they getting away with this? This is how.
The purpose of propaganda, at least in its late stage form, is not to inform you or deceive you or even manipulate you. It's to humiliate you. Its purpose is to be so outlandish, so ridiculous, and so blatantly untrue and yet totally undeniable in order to reinforce the power of the state. The Soviets referred to this as hyperrealism. That is, the state of everyone saying things that are completely false and that they know to be false, but which they cannot deny. The supermarket shelves are empty and bread lines stretch around the corner. But the newspapers report that this year's agricultural quotas have been exceeded once again, and everyone is forced to repeat this lie, and thus they become complicit in it. It is a system of total social humiliation and control.
That's what it is. It's a humiliation ritual, and that's what we're in the middle and that's what we're in the middle of now. That's what it feels like. Look at this to kind of sum it up and tie it all back full circle. Look at this clip we have of this girl getting crazy and mad at the person who's pushing back against the pro-abortion rally.
Some type of abortion ban, some type of abortion restriction, with some supporting a total abortion ban. With
abortion is murder.
Based.
Get fucked. You piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Relax.
No, people will die if abortion is banned. You piece of shit.
Abortion is killing babies, though.
It's not. It is. Banning abortion will not stop people from getting abortions. It means that women will die.
Relax.
No, you shouldn't get out of here. Hey, don't worry about people dying. Put on the fucking mask.
And she kicks him, goes
Mask.
crazy.
Wear a mask, kicks him, assaults a guy.
It's like, don't you hear what you're saying? Like, if abortion's banned, people will die. It's like abortion kills people the whole time. That's what it is. But like, they're so removed from what the reality is and what's going on that if you get rid of abortion, it's bad because people will die. That's like when Obama says, like, oh, there's disinformation out there that's causing division in this country. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's the other guys. But it's like, no, it's you. It's you saying it.
Divider in chief. Yeah. Is there any sentence that I could say or anyone could say that would get you immediately spiraling, rushing someone and doing weak kicks and screaming in their face? What?
It would be like, your family's tied up in my car. Here's a picture right over there. And it's like, wait. Yeah, I would probably rush someone for that.
Total family kidnap scenario.
So that guy saying abortion is murder triggers the Plankton and SpongeBob's brain from that episode where he's trying to steal the Krabby Patty recipe. Mm-hmm. And now it's just the demons running. We have to get this guy.
Like one person yells, go fuck yourself. And like that, okay, sure. If you disagree and you're mad and this guy's clearly trolling, I respect this guy because I like people who come and just kick the wasp nest, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's funny to me. But yeah, the rushing him and like getting in his face and you're wearing a mask, real pathetic.
Real pathetic stuff. And that closes out this week's Cringe of the Week. One of our better cringes of the week.
Yeah.
Thank you again to our sponsor, Brave Books. Make sure you guys check them out, bravebooks.us. Use code Fleccas for 20% off. They're supporters of the show. Let's support them. And let's get some nice reading material for our children instead of whatever these Cringe of the Week people are trying to teach them. Moving on.
Yeah.
Dr. Oz section. Guys, Dr. Oz, the Pennsylvania Senate race is heating up. Dr. Oz is neck and neck with Kathy Barnett.
Yeah.
Who we like. We like Kathy Barnett. She gets the Fleccas endorsement. Not that that's worth anything.
It might be.
So yeah, Dr. Oz is running for Senate. He's not from Pennsylvania. He's from New Jersey. He's kind of a carpetbagger, 100%.
Born in Cleveland.
Served
in the Turkish military.
Weirdly Turkish.
Yeah, which is fine, but you served in the military, but you were born in Cleveland? I don't know.
What's going on here?
Lives in New Jersey, like you just said. Mm-hmm. And like New Jersey, not just New Jersey, but like New York metro area, you know? And so apparently Dr. Oz is living at his in-laws' house in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and Dr. Oz got the Trump endorsement, which we don't care about. We're not going to say, oh, we have to support Dr. Oz now, because we heard that Dr. Oz got the Trump endorsement as a favor from Sean Hannity.
Sean Hannity
which
called
is
in.
which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
If Hannity's calling in favors and you're saying yes, and it's for something like this, it's like the game isn't that far away from us.
Exactly. That's
Like,
what I'm saying. It's
We're
like
not that far removed from how the whole operation works here, guys.
exactly. So Hannity apparently called in a personal solid with Trump for this.
That's your last one, Hannity, and no more.
Which it's like bad. Like you don't want Trump's endorsement to lose their cachet. You know, you don't want this guy to kind of like just pick random fire from the hip on endorsements.
Yeah, and Hannity, it's your friend Dr. Oz. I bet if you went to Dr. Oz a couple years ago and said, "Hey, Dr. Oz, what do you think of Sean Hannity?" He'd go, "Well, I don't agree with everything," or he would not be like, "Oh, Sean Hannity's great." So I don't know why we're doing that. We had this weird hostage adjacent video that Dr. Oz and Rick Grinnell did together for the endorsement. Let's check this out.
Hi, this is Rick Grinnell with my friend Dr. Oz. I'm here in Pennsylvania to support Dr. Oz, and I hope that you will too. I know what Washington is like. I know that you've got to have fresh voices to absolutely.
We need lizards
go
in skin
after the
suits.
swamp. I've taken on the swamp, and I know this guy is going to take on the swamp. Send him to Washington and let's drain it.
Remember President Trump said it in his announcement. Smart, tough, and will never let you down. I commit that to you and Rick as well. God bless you.
This is weird and awkward. Dr. Oz is not our guy. Rick Grinnell, I don't know what you're doing either. You're on the watch list.
I like and respect Rick Grinnell, but yeah, that's watch list behavior. I don't know. It's hostage video adjacent and very unnatural stuff. Like I don't know the vibe between you two guys or who's off camera in this situation.
Yeah, who's off with the cue cards and like a thing, like read it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not a huge Dr. Oz fan. He did an ad where he was did a pro gun ad because he's been anti-gun on his show for years at this point, calling for gun control. And then he did a pro 2A ad where he was shooting lefty with the shotgun and then shooting righty with the pistol. So it makes me wonder, do you think Dr. Oz shot that clay himself? Or do you think he went boom and then they cut to the clay getting blown up and some PA who knows how to work a gun was probably like, yeah, I can do it. Just
Rick Grinnell was off screen.
So it's like, who shot that clay? If it was Dr. Oz, they would have put it in one shot.
Exactly. And so, I mean, people can change their opinions too. Be like, oh, I realized the importance, like the 2022 or the 2020 riots and COVID and the oppressive government really opened my eyes to gun rights. But, at the same time, if someone has had those beliefs the whole time, like our girl, Kathy, let's just go with that. Let's not go with some weird guy who's got a bunch of crisscrossing views and a couple of switches and stuff and was on TV too much.
He was pro-China and lockdowns.
Yeah, did a deal with China for his...
He was pro-vaccine really hard. He was supporting trans kids and saying, trans kids have a right to stop puberty, and he was supportive of the trans kids idea. I believe he was anti-gun for sure. And then I think he was pro-BLM too. We have a lot to learn, stuff like that.
Yeah, so
He's just not our guy.
I'm just going to go ahead and say nah to that. And hopefully the people of the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania see through it as well, and don't just kind of blindly vote because he's got a name that they recognize.
Yeah, let's get past this. Let's vote for Kathy Barnett if you're in that area and you're able to vote. And let's just have her go in. Dr. Oz doesn't. Sorry, Hannity. Trump tried.
Yeah.
No one's mad, and then we can move on. But Dr. Oz is not our guy. We know that for sure. And also, Kathy Barnett was pro-Trump since the beginning, since 2016, right?
Like August, early, during the primaries and stuff.
So she's based enough to know that Trump wasn't what they were saying he was. Dr. Oz, what do you think of Donald Trump in 2016? He'd go, whoa. So definitely not our guy. We don't need any more lizards in skin suits. How about that picture of him and Grinnell? And he's just waiting Rick, trick him. Yeah, tell him that, Rick. Tell him, Rick. So moving on, we're not big fans of Dr. Oz.
No major authentic vibes from Dr. Oz.
Not many. Speaking of people not putting America first, Ukraine. Richard Rapway, what's the most important thing to Americans right now? Would you guess?
I think we all agree the most important thing going on in the world right now is the war in Ukraine.
I think we all agree that the most important thing in the world right now.
I was going to say the most important thing in the world right now is Luna going from $80 to $1
Yeah.
in like a day and a half.
That was a pretty aggressive crash.
Yeah, the crypto and stock market dump that's been happening has been pretty important to me. The open border and all the fentanyl coming across has been pretty important. Gas is up like 100 and something percent. Gas 3x or whatever.
Yeah, inflation is probably the single biggest issue to everybody who watches this, everybody who's around us.
Yeah, inflation.
And I don't care about Ukraine.
The whole country is like owned by BlackRock.
Yeah, they're buying up 80 like single family homes everywhere. And
Basically China. But and there's no baby food. You can't feed the babies.
Small thing.
So if you don't abort them, and if they make it to adulthood, then you'll convince them they're trans. Or
you need breast milk. You can't have formula.
So for the people that are having babies now, what's the most important thing to them is the formula. No. It's Ukraine. We need to give them $40 billion. So they're giving another $40 billion to Ukraine on top of what they've already given. $40 billion could build 10 border walls. Remember when Trump requested, I think, $5 billion and they said no? But we just gave $40 billion to Ukraine. Who benefits from that? The big guy, people with slush funds, Hunter Biden. So I guess that's what we're prioritizing right now.
Yeah. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mitch. The uniparty really comes out strong for this, for war. That's when the cohesion really starts between Republicans and Democrats, when it comes time to send your money abroad.
Yeah. So let's keep participating in this proxy war, which will be a real war soon. Let's keep giving Ukraine money and weapons. And then we can get to the conclusion that Richard Ratboy said in Housekeeping, the nuclear war that's coming.
Yeah. My thoughts.
Richard Ratboy's original idea.
Yeah. Do we need a bridge anywhere? Any sort of high-speed rail anywhere? Maybe between two cities? I don't know.
I read a stat that was like the amount of money we've given to Ukraine, I believe it was before the $40 billion, was our yearly budget for all roads and highways and bridges and stuff, infrastructure. Ukraine, the country you never heard of or even care about, that they installed the puppet in to steal all the money back, to just wash the money. You give them $10 billion and then it comes back in all different ways. Cool.
So where'd the money go, Mitch? Oh, we just sent it over. I don't know.
So bad. These people hate us, and it's becoming very obvious. Which takes us into our urban decay section, which is kind of the result of years of this type of
neglect and not spending the money on, trillion in Afghanistan. But let's see how our cities are faring.
Yeah, exactly. This first urban decay actually gives me hope. It's the Steelers' bike is stolen. That's what it's called in my notes.
So this is in Toronto. It says around this time last year, a restaurant was broken into. Shows like a rock with broken glass. In a funny twist of fate, we managed to get this video of the burglar parking his getaway bike. So this guy's about to go smash the window, steal a cash register, steal whatever he can. And as he's breaking in, someone comes to steal his bike.
So I guess that's what we need. We need to get to the breaking point where the thieves are stolen from enough that they say that's it.
Yeah.
This is getting out of hand. We need the thieves to be the ones who take a stand now because they've had enough, because their stolen stuff is getting stolen too.
Yeah.
There's levels to this.
There's enough crime in any given random city that you have the criminal who's like the shark or the whale who has the little like lamprey on his side, who's just like, well, I'm coasting off you. I'm living. That we can now sustain both. So there's levels to the crime, and makes for a funny video. But then you realize, oh shit, I live here, and this is the kind of thing that happens.
Exactly. Our next clip. This is my favorite clip from Urban Decay: the Best Buy robbery attempt. So a squad of people comes into Best Buy. And they're coming in and they're going to that table to steal the phones, which don't even work, I think.
Yep.
They start yanking them off the wires. Things get a little hectic.
This guy can't even yank one.
And then, yeah, exactly. This guy in the top left, he doesn't even get anything. So he starts yanking and pulling. His boys get some. And now everyone's on their own in a hectic situation. And the Best Buy employees are in cover 3.
Yep.
So
this looks like actually 2 high safeties here. If I don't know if this is cover 3.
Yeah, I never learned the defense all the way.
Well, we might have man plus. I don't know. But I love this because Best Buy plays defense. Walgreens, remember the Walgreens video last week? Toodles. It's like we didn't even put our team out on the field. Best Buy is ready. These guys are all in.
Yeah. These guys
positions.
knew it was going to happen. I'm sure it's happened before. And you can tell, like, the guy's, like, rolling up his pants and going like this. Like, all these guys jumped into action as if before their shift, they were like, guys, if something happens, we're throwing down today.
I love that. I love this low quality camera. Like, this guy's in a full breakdown stance. Like, nobody's playing around. And, you know, I mean, this is a product of what your store is. Like, you have high value TVs. You know, someone can take something that's this big and it's $1,500. So yeah, they're gonna have to do it.
I love to see them spring into action. Like, they're young workers too. Like, they're young guys, so it's kind of like in their realm of things that men like to do.
Exactly.
Justifiably defend something. And they did great. These are all first round Best Buy worker defender draft picks.
Yeah.
100%. Imagine how fun that doink they smoked around back on their break was. We're like, dude, then you grabbed him and then you kicked him. We jumped him. Unfortunately, the video ends. We don't know what happened, but it was. We can assume the best.
Yeah, I'm gonna just fill in the blanks in my mind. And
limited losses. Not everyone got what they wanted. It wasn't an easy walk in, walk out situation like it usually is.
Yep.
Better than this person's attempt to defend Best Buy. Not all Best Buy defenders are created equally. This guy he tried. He's got kind of roly-polied, unfortunately.
It was his first day of Best Buy.
Yeah.
Or something.
And he's like, damn, I got paid $12 an hour. This was not worth it. Moving on. Carjacker Reddit DC story.
Yeah, let me just pull this up. So this was a Washington, D.C. resident post on Reddit that they were carjacked at gunpoint. Police quickly recover the car and arrest the carjackers. Then the resident gets a call and is told the charges have been dropped and the suspects all released. So you want me to read it?
So they just, well, that's it.
That's it.
They got the guy and they let him back out and said, try again, buddy.
Yeah. So they managed to find the car downtown and arrested all the kids. The attorney called me and said they weren't prosecuting the case and were dropping all the charges. Isn't that your choice? Weren't you the victim? Shouldn't you be like the person who decides that? Or I guess they just cut you out now and go, who cares about your feelings? It's about whatever DA George Soros put in place. He's making the shots. He's calling the shots.
This is going to lead to like vigilante justice. You ever see Four Brothers?
Yeah.
It's going to lead to stuff like that.
Mark Wahlberg, and then they got Tyrese in there.
Yeah. And you go to the police and they go, oh, what happened? You go, nothing. Oh, did you see who it was? What they looked like? Couldn't tell.
Here's a quote.
And then you know you're going to get them at night.
And then here's a quote. I've never been near guns my entire life, and to see one put against my boyfriend's head is so fucking traumatizing. Yeah, it is. That it's like, don't let them gaslight you into not having standards. You got carjacked and someone put a gun to your boyfriend's head.
Well, yeah,
they could have ended it. This could have been your Batman arc. Your boyfriend could have been blasted, and you'd go and be Catwoman or something now. But
Catwoman was a lesbian.
Fortunately, that didn't happen. But unfortunately, these kids are probably going to do that again.
And the kids have guns. Why? Is it to do crime, whatever? No, it's because they're insecure. David Hogg told us that.
And so the woman and the boyfriend, they come off shaken and with a shaken faith in the justice system because they're now scared. I hope the boyfriend goes and gets his own gun. They're now scared and shaken, and the criminals are fearless and emboldened. Yeah. So you got the opposite effect that you should. You should be, quelling the anxieties of the people who are actually victimized, bring them down to like, they're off the streets, thank God. And putting the fear of God into the criminals, because that's wrong, obviously.
And then you get caught, and then the other criminals will go, oh, if I rob somebody, I'm going to go to jail for 5 years. Not worth it.
Exactly.
And you're out in the street again to try again. Try it again without getting caught this time.
So yeah, lowest common denominator society. Let's cater to the criminals. Don't worry about the nice couple who I assume both have jobs and both are well paid and contributing to the tax base of the county or the city, whatever.
And then we need to get no guns. We need to get guns off the street. This is the NRA's fault.
Yeah. So let's ignore all that and just, forget what happened to you. Don't worry about it. You're safe.
Moving on. Not all criminals are bad. Lawnmower stolen video. What happens here?
Yeah. So this is Port Arthur police. It says, police in Port Arthur, Texas are looking for a thief who stole a lawnmower, but not before he filled it up with gas and mowed the victim's front and backyards.
So it could be worse.
Yeah.
And you kind of, it looks like it's the nighttime. So the guy started the lawnmower up, mowed your lawn. If your lawn's getting mowed at 2 a.m. and you don't wake up and say, what's going on? Give me my lawnmower back. It's kind of your fault. He gave you a chance.
He did. He did.
So I like this guy. And also, you don't have to mow. It's not like you have to mow your lawn tomorrow. You're good probably for a month.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll return it. Maybe he just needed to start a business or something. He'll bring it back in a couple of weeks.
That's funny. That's interesting. They always do the memes like, you never see the rioters in a work boot store. You never see the rioters. This guy might start a business. Maybe this is a new leaf he's turning. And just a little bit of crime, a little bit of crime to get you started.
A little bit of crime, a little bit of arbitrage. This is uplifting gold in my mind.
Yeah. So you sectioned it. But, we got different levels. We got criminals stealing from criminals. We got criminals stealing from big corporate entities who are fighting back. That's Best Buy. And we got criminals with a heart of gold who give you a little something on the way out.
Yeah. It's like people who steal food. Like, I just want to eat.
Yeah, from the Balenciaga store.
Moving on, the last bit of Urban Decay. The Shanghai people are fighting back. So this is cool. This is a clip of the Shanghai people fighting back against the guys in the white suits.
White coats, the white biolab guys.
The white biolab guys. It's always good to see them squirming and running. The people in China, looks like they have had enough. And also in China, this clip came up a couple days ago. They have red skies. So I don't know what that is. Maybe it's the artificial sun they made.
The weather they're manipulating.
Or it could, what is the thing? Red skies at night, sailor's delight.
I have no idea, buddy.
I think it is. So that could actually go in uplifting gold.
Sailor's delight?
That's a good thing. Yeah. Red skies at night, sailor's delight, meaning it means the next day is going to be good weather.
Oh.
So that could actually be an uplifting gold.
Okay.
Which takes us to our uplifting gold section.
Wow.
Let's go into uplifting gold. Guys, the world isn't as bad as it seems. It is.
Yeah, it's pretty dark out there.
The world is very dark, and now's not the time to get complacent and think that the world is okay and everything's fine, which is why half of uplifting gold is usually negative.
Yeah,
because we don't want people to get comfortable.
You have a sick podcast host here, people, and he does not know what is gold and what is not.
But there are some good things out there. There are some good clips. We can't just depress everyone. We can't just show everyone the crazy bad stuff and say, all right, have a good week. See you next Friday. It is Friday. We do have some uplifting gold. Let's hit our first one. The kid that likes chocolate milk. Cutest kid ever.
I know, that's chocolate milk.
Yeah, that's chocolate milk.
That's good shit.
That's good shit. The left wants to be able to abort that kid now.
All right. Let him have the gold.
Yeah.
Let him have the gold. And what would you rather have? Your kid saying a swear word like, that's good shit. And it's like, yeah, he learned it from dad. He's got a dad in his life. Mom's not saying that's good shit.
Yeah.
So would you rather have him doing that, or I have white privilege, I'm not binary, gender isn't your sex,
I'm a girl?
Yeah. I'll take the random little kid swearing all day for chocolate milk.
Because Mix Thompson told me I'm a girl. Yeah, so that's good. That's what the positives of having a child are. Another good one, tube launcher. This guy's working at a water park, and he's doing a good job.
It's a guy who likes his job, right?
So you're at the water park. He's got a little routine. Spins you around, launches you down. It is a little wet and slippery. He could probably easily knee you in the head by accident, send you face down the tube, send you face down the slide, and then you drown in 2 inches of water.
Good for this guy, man.
I like it. Yeah, this is a positive.
He's got a system. He makes it fun. He wouldn't take your dog and just say, oh, he got nervous. He gets the job done.
He gets the job done.
So I'd be in line for that if I was a little kid 10 times. I'd be doing that.
Yep, that's good stuff. That's pure Americana. We love to see it. Taking us to our next one, the skateboard wipeout. Let's play that real quick. So this guy's dropping in, and you're dead. Oh, man.
So why is this an uplifting gold?
We hate skateboarders.
Oh, okay. I don't mind them.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
I grew up hating skateboarding. In the Fleccas family, we did not allow it because skateboarding can't get you into college. In fact, skateboarding can get you injured, so you can't play football and get into college. So we were always discouraged as kids to not do skateboarding or stunt bikes. We used to call it stunties. The kids that would do the skateboarding and stuff and the rollerblading and the bikes, They were stunties.
Yeah.
So we never were allowed to hang out with them. They all had long hair. The Fleccas family was getting buzz cuts every 2 weeks. And we weren't allowed to hang out with those kids. And if you wanted a bike, you get a mountain bike.
That was kind of the same rules for mine. Like my family, I got a skateboard once and they like made fun of me.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's no value unless you go be a pro skateboarder or something, I guess. I don't know.
You're going to be a punk. The kids you're hanging out with are like smoking doinks at 10, 12 years old.
Yeah.
It's not good. And believe it or not, as a child, I didn't have the body for skateboarding anyway.
No.
Yeah. Like
What?
jumping off and like getting air wasn't really in the cards for me.
Not really a movement kind of guy. Like,
yeah. Too heavy.
Too big.
You're too heavy.
Too big. Go offensive line.
Yeah. It was just literally what happened. But that's based parents. I had based parents and they were absolutely right.
Yep.
Moving us on to the help. This is a section where people are helping each other. Animals are helping each other. Look at this turtle. This turtle's upside down. He's kind of panicking.
Panicking in the water. Chaos.
All the other turtles come up to him and eventually help him and flip him over. They know that a turtle upside down is not good.
Yeah. That's empathy. These turtles they know. Everybody crowds this guy.
Yeah.
And then he stops, he relaxes, and they flip him.
They flip him, which is great.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Similar to the next clip, this is Batman saving somebody.
People helping people. I titled this Low Stakes Batman.
Something in the way. So
Batman pats his back after helping him up.
It's one thing to see the movie. It's another thing to live it.
Exactly.
And that guy's living it.
One low stake moment at a time.
Very important.
Helping out the fat guy.
Okay, which takes us to our next piece of uplifting gold. Guys, remember that video of the statue playing catch with the golden retriever and we didn't show it for 3 weeks? And everyone got so mad. They're freaking out. Where's the video? Oh, you didn't play the video again. Where's this video? How do we need to see this video? Okay, here it is. It's not even that good. I don't know what everyone's getting so freaked out about. It's just a dog running around a metal statue. It's not even that good of a video.
Waiting for the statue to throw the ball.
I don't know what your guys' problem is or what you want, but it's like not even a big deal. That video wasn't even good.
We got our use out of that bit. Yeah. We got our use. Sorry, guys.
And we're going to absolutely gaslight you. Like, all right, everyone's freaking out. Here's the video. Like, what do you want? It's not that good. I don't know what to tell you. On the same topic of dogs, there's 2 more dogs videos. Dog tattoo is one of them. This is actually...
But I'm okay with it. I am obsessed with it.
So the person's putting ashes in the ink, and then they're injecting themselves with the dog. This should be in cringe.
Yeah, this is no good. Why? Like, don't you already have the dog tattoo? You need his ashes in it. Aren't like tattoos ripe for infection?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we just chill? Shouldn't we just use like the bare minimum ink?
Number 1, you're injecting yourself with the dog. Number 2, you're getting a dog tattoo. What did he do for you?
He was a good boy, I'm sure, but on your forearm forever? Oh, that was Frankie, the dog I owned from 2008 to 2014.
Yeah, that was the dog I had when I was 26.
Unless you're like a tattooed guy who just throws it up there, you know? Like, oh, I'm a tattoo guy. There's Frankie.
Like a Pete Davidson idiot.
Yeah, it's part of my thing. That's okay, but it's like my first tattoo ever, my forearm, Frankie, the dog. I don't know.
It's so embarrassing. Get a kid. Moving on to the girl who catches the dog. This is actually a really cool clip. You don't want to miss this one. A girl is talking to a guy, and believe it or not, the dog falls out of the window, and believe it or not, the girl catches him, not the guy. The girl has the reflexes.
Major respect. Usually it's the opposite, and this guy is flat-footed, and the girl actually saves her dog.
She's probably a lesbian.
Yeah, she's probably got some high T female.
At least high T. She's an alpha female.
Smart.
Most girls would go like away, and she's like running too.
Mm-hmm. No, I respect that. I majorly respect that.
She likes the dog a lot to run too like that. Mm-hmm. She
might get a tattoo.
She might get that Frankie tattoo.
Yeah.
That's the person.
That might be Cuddles.
And moving on to our last thing. This is not a video. This is a post I saw on Jack Posobiec's page. It actually really resonated with me and makes a lot of sense. It's going to resonate with you too. It's pretty sad, actually. It's this picture right here, and it says, "We had no idea how good we had it, and no clue we were the last ones." that type of life that we lived.
I love that 90s life.
That 90s life, no phones, no social media, bikes, Pizza Hut, the
Just
mall.
your neighbors were your friends, whoever it was.
Cops were good. You played Little League Baseball. Everyone was around in the community socializing. That's where they got their social engagement, not online. They got it in person. People went to church. And that's kind of like, in a way, the MAGA movement, Make America Great Again, I think is, in a way, trying to make America what it was at like a point like that. Like, Make America the 90s again would work for me. That sounds great to me.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. And that's what we lost. And that's what they're in the process of stealing from us. It's
That's
not
what they
done
stole.
yet. It's
Yeah.
not done yet, but it's basically on the last thread. Remember in Hercules, there was the last thread and they went to slice it, but then it turned gold and they couldn't get him?
Nope. Don't
It's like,
remember
it's
that.
exactly like that. So we think we're done, but in the end, we will win. Good will win. God will win. The truth will be revealed. So as long as we stand up and fight for what's important, we can kind of maybe get back to what we had, or at least close in the ballpark, which is all we can hope for.
Fair.
Which is what we do on this podcast every week. Hopefully you agree. Thank you guys for watching. Another Fleccas Talks in the books. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. ShopFleccas.com for the best merch in the game. We got Trader Joe's. We have the Clintons, Crenshaw Sucks,
Base mug,
Kid Thrasher. We have the base mug, which is over here somewhere. Very cool. Get one of those today. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Fleccas Clips channel for smaller clips from the show and Fleccas Street videos, all cool Fleccas clips. And make sure you guys are joining Patreon and YouTube Join. We're doing bonus episodes that come out on Sunday, an extra 20, 25 minutes of the show. It's really good stuff. We have really good topics today. Patreon.com/Fleccas or YouTube Join. Links are in the description. Sign up for that. And last but not least, actually most importantly, because they gave us money, Brave Books. Make sure you guys are supporting them. We have a new sponsor on the show, Brave Books. Go to bravebooks.us and use code Fleccas. Get the treasure chest, get the subscription, buy books a la carte, whatever you want to do. Use the Fleccas promo code. Get yours today. It goes a long way. It's a very important group of people doing a very important thing. We need to protect the kids and offer them better things, better resources than what they're being given now and what's being shoved down their throat. So if you support companies like that, they can continue to do it. They'll continue to grow and expand, and we'll be able to compete in the culture war. It's very important. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at the next one.